With 23 patents, 40 plus publications, advisory roles across top institutions, a pioneer in healthcare innovation, a man who played key roles at organizations like Philips, Ericsson, and TCS, founder of companies like Forus Health, eHealth Enablers, and Renalyx, the mind behind an award-winning eye screening device named Trinetra, the man who has served the nation when it comes to the intersection of tech and healthcare, Dr. Sham Vasudeva. For this interview today, we have Dr. Sham with us specifically to talk about his gift to Indians, a machine that will help lakhs of people survive. Dr. Sham, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you in our studio. Working on a couple of projects at a time gets very difficult for us sometimes. How do you manage?
Well, it's a very interesting question. Basically, I'm doing only one thing, that is to make in India. You know, in India we have all the capabilities, and we are not in a position to do something for our own sake. So, I am not active with all that what you said as of now. Some time I had been in that. It's a long journey of around 35 years now, and I'm basically electronics and telecom engineer, and did my masters and then PhD at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore.
Okay.
And those days my area of research was also very interesting, that is high performance computing, basically all these AI and all that we used way back in 90s. From then it has been a passion, and that's how I've been managing this. But as of now I'm only active with Renalyx, which is now my dream project.
But from corporates to founding something on your own and being consistent on it, what motivated you?
As I told you that my first innovation or first company which I started was a made in India one. Then I had the opportunity to start.
And what was it? Sorry to interrupt. What was it about?
It was about computer antivirus.
Okay.
Yeah, in 89, 90s, if you remember, there has been, we only had big mainframe computers, and then we had personal computers which had come, and everyone were thinking that now, you know, the game is going to change. But then came this virus called C-Brain. It was one of the first virus, and at that time, you know, I used to be doing a lot of work with this assembly language programming and all that. So I did this with a couple of my friends, and it was an antivirus solution which was hardware based.
Got it.
That was a very different thing. Yeah.
You spoke about continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then after my doing the PhD in Indian Institute of Science, I was again having this thing to go back to my entrepreneurship journey, but the technology ecosystem had changed, and there was a lot of emphasis on multinational companies coming into India, and I had the opportunity to start Ericsson's R&D in India. So that was again like a startup for me, even though that company was more than 100 years old. So we built a team in Bangalore, then Hyderabad, and then Delhi and all that. So that way it's again another made in India experiment, I would say. And later on I joined Philips as a technical director and innovation manager, and that's when I got more into look into healthcare.
Okay.
And that was how I transformed myself from a sort of a managerial role to technology again, and we started at that stage looking at what is really, you know, the healthcare what India needs, because we have always been dreaming about some customer in Japan or in US or Europe and trying to build everything for them, but nothing we were doing for India. That's basically, you know, when you are in a multinational, obviously you have to think about the big.
Very nationalistic.
So that was the natural instinct, yes. Then when we looked at India and healthcare, started studying that in more detail, that is when I came to a conclusion that in India, at that time, that is in 2007, 2008, what is needed is more of preventive care. And this is not something new to our culture. Our ancestors have been telling prevention is better than cure and all that. But we had not applied that in real world. So that's how I started to look at preventive care, and we said, okay, initially we had made this proposal to the company where we are working, but then this was not looking at as a big business. So I said, okay, we'll do it for us, for me and my community, and that's how I started this company for us. It is for me and my community.
For us health.
Yeah, for us health. And that got focused more on ophthalmology, and we made products for eye care. And today we are very happy to say that it's more than 52 countries, we have been selling these products. And then while we were doing this, I was more involved in the technology aspect of it. And what I noticed is that eye care of course is very essential, but there are other non-communicable diseases related problems, and one such problem is kidney problem, because the most important non-communicable disease to look out for is diabetes and hypertension, and both have an effect on kidney.
Okay.
And that is where we said we have to do something in this space.
And Renalyx
And
was
that's how
born.
we started Renalyx, yes.
What are current projects?
Yeah,
I guess
in Renalyx, Renalyx, we are looking at the whole gamut of renal problem. That is very early detection of kidney failure, the disease progression, how to manage it, and we are also looking at the treatment part of it, which is basically the dialysis, haemodialysis as we say. So this is the care continuum, which is starts very, very early, and all those who are diabetic or hypertension are at a very high risk of getting this chronic kidney disease. So if we can detect that at an early stage, that's a big boon to the people, and that's what we focused first and came up with our products for that.
But in a country where the population is approximately around 140 crores,
Yes.
is it easy to detect the disease?
It is not a very easy thing, but if you see the mobile penetration, the digitization, what's happening today, and the way connectivity has increased or reached every nook and corner of the country, it is definitely possible. And this has been proven by the vaccination program what we saw during COVID. So this is something which we had dreamt, or I dreamt in 2010, and when I did this for us health, where we did connected medical devices, and then in 2013 when we started Renalyx, this was something which I said that we could reach out to people in any part of the world, or any part of India, firstly, and that's definitely possible.
You recently launched a machine. Basically, there are two machines I read about, RX21 and RXT22.
Okay.
What
Yes.
exactly these machines are? And I guess so, few years ago, you also launched RXT17. So what is the
Yes.
difference?
Yes, see, the dialysis is done in different type of environment. So like first, it is there in all hospitals, because every hospital should have dialysis. That's very important. Then we see dialysis done in institutions, like there are dialysis centers, and then there are government setups like district hospital, PHCs, community healthcare centers and all that, where we want to reach out to the people there also with dialysis. So for that, the first one what we envisaged is a PHC dialysis machine.
Okay.
So we need to make a machine which can be put in PHCs, and that is the one which is RXT17.
70.
And this machine we took around 5 years to come up with the first prototype, and we adopted the international standard, that is the EU CE, that standard. And
So you're also exporting the machines?
yes, having that in mind, because Whatever you do, even though you're doing it for India, but it has to be up to the quality of any other machines, and that also makes your business to take abroad. So
but which countries you are targeting currently?
As of now, we are looking at Africa, particularly South Africa, where there is a lot of, the African population has a lot of kidney problems there. And then, we are also looking at Eastern Europe.
Basically for India, from India.
For India, from India, you can say, yeah.
But what exactly?
You do it for India and for the rest of the world, yeah.
Of course, the machine is again made in India.
Yes.
But can you tell me the difference between 21 and 22?
Okay. Yes. The PHC dialysis machine is RXT 17, and then we have RXT 21, which is a advanced version or a multi-purpose machine. There are a lot of people who get temporary kidney failure. We call it as acute kidney injury, and they have to be put on a long duration dialysis for only a few sessions, and that is always done in ICUs.
Got it.
So for that, we have a special mode and special feature that is there in RXT 21. And then not only for that, we also do dialysis for patients with coronary heart failure, pulmonary edema, children with pulmonary problems and all that. So this machine can do all of that. So we have features like sled, scuff and all these what we say. So that is the RXT 21. But then the next version what we are almost there with that product, which prototype should be ready in another few months, and that is for home dialysis, home hemodialysis. We want to take dialysis to the doorstep. So this will be a portable machine which can be used as on dialysis on wheels, we say. We can put it on an ambulance and take it to the villages and sparsely populated areas, and also we can take it to the bedside of a patient. This will be very useful for people who are immobile, particularly those who are very obese, those who are aged, those who have these sort of problems. So for them, they can't be taken out of the house. So that's where we see this machine would be very useful in those situations.
You mentioned villages.
Yes.
So urban, it is completely fine, but the issue of accessibility,
yes,
it is more with the rural part of the India, and which is vast. So how are you tackling the accessibility issue?
Yes. So there are three main issues, which we have to look at here when you are talking about rural or any even the urban people also. Basically for rural it is more prominent. That is, one is the accessibility, the other is the availability, and also the affordability, awareness, affordability. Yeah.
Affordability is very big issue.
Yes. So the access, let us take it first. So the access is something which will change the whole domain. So we are looking at a paradigm shift. Instead of patient go to hospital, can hospital go to the patient?
Exactly.
That is the paradigm what we are looking at. And for that, we have enabling technologies today. One is most important, connectivity. So mobile connectivity, digital connectivity is there across the country now. Secondly, we need the right type of technology. That is, we need a way of making these machines, accessible, and also, keep the data available to them. And that is where, we use cloud technology.
Okay.
So my machines are all cloud enabled, and we have a information system on the cloud that's called nephrology information system, on top of which we build telenephrology.
Telenephrology, yes.
So with that, the doctors or specialists can access their patients during emergency or every monthly follow-up they have to do. So all that is done on that thing. And also, on the patient side, safety is very important, safety of the patient. So for that, we have IoT interface to our machine, and we can monitor the patient while dialysis is happening. And on that we have AI algorithms which will actually detect normal, abnormal conditions.
Got it.
Only when there is some abnormality, it will trigger an alarm, not only on the machine but also on the doctor's mobile, wherever they are.
Okay.
So now with that and the connectivity, the doctor is in a position to see what are the parameters and what is the patient history. We have a EMR on the cloud. So they will be in a position to quickly take a decision on what to do. In the meanwhile, the machine is smart, so it will put the patient in the safe mode. It will stop the dialysis or reduce the blood pump speed to half, all these sort of actions which the doctor would have specified.
Considering this is a made in India machine,
Yes.
how will it differentiate the cost of kidney dialysis?
The cost is a multi-fold thing. I would put it in two categories. One is the direct cost. That is the one what the patient has to pay to the hospital.
Exactly.
That's what is coming out of the pocket. The second thing is indirect cost. It is a double taxation for the rural people, the indirect cost, because they have to travel all the way from their place to
a
the
city,
cities.
yes.
And the survey shows that there are people traveling 100 to 200 kilometers to get an access to this dialysis service.
They don't even have ambulances available.
Exactly. So they come by regular one, because this every alternate day they have to do this. So ambulance can't, there is no ambulance service which can be provided to them. So every alternate day they have to come. And when they are coming to bigger cities, they need somebody to be with them. So the attender, whoever is coming with them, that person also loses his 1 day of wages, all that. So there is, all these are indirect costs. The cost of travel, the cost of they need food and all that, and then the loss of productivity for the, not only for the patient but also for the person accompanying them. So all these can be saved if I am going to make this dialysis available to at their doorstep or closer to their.
Basically, we are eliminating
all the indirect costs.
Indirect costs. What about the waiting period of kidney dialysis in India in general?
There is today, if you see, there are government hospitals, and there only the ones in the urban areas and maybe tier 1 cities, they have this dialysis facility in the government hospitals, and there they have to wait for 2 to 3 years before they can get the access to the free dialysis.
Exactly.
And if they go to the private ones, then they have to pay more. So that is the thing. So there is, we have been working right from the day we started Renalyx. I have been interacting with the government, and the government has been in a position to implement a lot of schemes.
Exactly. I was actually coming there. How is government leading you?
Yes. The government is very receptive, and we have seen there is a lot of encouragement from the government for these activities. Particularly for if you are innovative and all that. So we have been awarded with lot of awards, gold medal also for our work, and we have the soft loans given from the Department of Science and Technology. It's called TDB, and we have also got some grants to indigenize some of the imported components from the Department of Biotechnology.
Any collaboration with any kind of government scheme?
We will be getting into that once we start, mass production. There is a government PLI scheme, performance-linked incentives.
Okay.
And also there is the Make in India, so we have preferential market access. Yeah.
But I guess you have already collaborated with Bharat Electronics, if I am not wrong.
Right. That is a...
What was it exactly?
Yes.
Again, it is a very impressive thing for
Yes.
a company to collaborate with Bharat Electronics.
Bharat Electronics is, as you know, is one of those Navaratna public sector unit, and they are mainly into defense. But during the COVID time, it's a eye-opener for the country, I would say, and for the Prime Minister's office. So we needed ventilators, and there was nobody, none of the big companies were prepared to give that ventilators. So there were maybe they would get around for a requirement of around 45,000. They were in a position to get around 2,000 to 3,000 ventilators. So imagine how are you going to face that situation. So that's when Bharat Electronics took up this challenge and said, okay, we will make ventilators, and within a matter of 3-4 months, they could make these ventilators. So that's how they got into medical device. And they knew that the ventilators, oxygen concentrators it's only needed for that time being, that is for the COVID type of situation. But a long-term, regular, it's one, that dialysis is a thing which is always required. So they were looking for partnership, and it was.
Okay, they were looking for the partnership.
Yes, exactly. And then we were lucky to get that one, and we started to work with them. And
they are helping in manufacturing, or
it is for manufacturing and sale of one model.
Okay,
that is the RXT17 model. Yeah.
What about the ecosystem of Renalyx? How are you planning to implement the machines across the nation? Again,
Yes.
Nation.
So we have a go-to-market strategy.
Okay.
In which we are looking at, or we already have some super distributors who are going to directly appoint these distributor regions and all that. So what we see is that it's always good to tie up with some established players in the field. So we have such distributors with whom we are tied up, and they will be in a position to take this to the private sector. When it comes to the government sector, we have Bharat Electronics, who have the license for manufacturing and sale.
Okay.
So for a particular segment, they will be in a position to do that. And when it comes to overseas, we are working with some distributors there, because normally it's every country has its own regulatory, and they always need a local distributor.
But so before distributor, maybe research team must be playing a very important role. The survey team.
That is for the R&D ecosystem. R&D that's a very important thing. So we have a very good ecosystem we have built.
Exactly.
With the Indian universities. We work with a couple of good universities, hospitals, medical colleges particularly, where we have done the clinical validation and all that in Mysore, JSS Medical College and all that. And we also have R&D partners. Particularly when it comes to some material science, industrial design, we have partners, and so we have been in a position to do this over the last 10 years. We have really built up a very good ecosystem, robust ecosystem, and we have come up with this, I would say 2 to 3 products now, and a lot of software products. So we do early detection. That's again a patented technology what we have implemented, through which we can detect the problem at early stage, and with a mobile app. Then we have the disease management.
Okay.
That is again a companion app. It's again a mobile app which will help in disease management. And we have a huge information system on the cloud called NIS, Nephrology Information System, and telenephrology implemented on that. So that way, we have built all these products.
Again, no doubt it is a super machine, I would say. Manufacturing cost plays an important role. So are you looking for more collaborations for the manufacturing purpose or the sale purpose?
For manufacturing, we have Bharat Electronics for one model, and then we have our own manufacturing which is in Bangalore, and then we have one manufacturing in Mumbai also. And there are contract manufacturers who actually do the subsystems. They are in Mysore and Bangalore. Yeah.
We actually spoke a lot about Renalyx, but tell me one thing. What was the core thought behind these particular machines, behind a product that is a make in India product? What was the core thought? Was it nationalism? Was it a purpose to serve the nation or something like that?
Yes.
Because what I have observed while talking to you in this interview or before interview, you are very curious to serve the nation, serve the rural part of the nation, the tier 3 or tier 4 cities. So what was the thought?
See, we have seen, I come from a very small, I would say, village. It's gold mines there. Of course, there is gold, but it lacks a lot, in infrastructure. It's in North Karnataka, Raichur district, Hatti gold mines, and we had a hospital in the camp, and still, a cardiologist would come once in a month for a few hours. That's all. So super specialists who are needed. The nephrologist has never seen that place, I think. So it is like that. So I had a personal issue that my father, who was just around 54 years, he just got a heart attack, and then while waiting for the cardiologist, he got the second one after 2 weeks and he died. So, if you see, there are so many people like that who are actually deprived of some basic things. And as an engineer, we feel that there is a lot we can do to this medical problem, sir. So, that was the motivation, and more than anything, there is lot of it can be done much easily if you can detect the problem at early stage. 90% of the problems can be solved if we can detect at an early stage. That is the thing. But detecting the problem at the early stage needs technology, and that is exactly what motivates me, and we work on these things.
When I read about you, when I read about the organization, I told my colleague there must be some powerful story behind this powerful machine. One last question to you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate? In next 5 years, will the problem be solved regarding the kidney diseases?
It's not an easy one, because kidney problem is coming from various other problems, which are like, the lifestyle, the food habits, the environment, the pollution. Today is the environment day. Yeah?
Exactly.
So, a lot of pollution in the air, in the water we use, in the ground, in the vegetables, fruits what we eat. All these, contribute to this problem. So, if at all we have to, if we have to solve this, I think it's a whole ecosystem has to improve, and a lot of awareness has to be built among people, and that is the only solution. So, that's where, we are trying to see how we can do the disease management. Disease management is all about connecting the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
And with this mobile technologies what is available today, it's all possible. So, that is the hope, and that is the solution, I would say.
Considering the overall situation, I am pretty much sure this machine, I would say it is a trust, it is a belief, will surely play an important role in near future. It was nice talking to you, Mr. Sham. Actually, when our team told me Dr. Sham is coming, I read about you. We have multiple anchors in our studio, and any one of them could have done this interview. I spoke to Janvi, I told her कि मुझे ही करना है. Because
so
your
nice.
Story, your companies are so inspiring. So the approach is very nationalistic. The approach is very towards India as such, towards our people, Indians, and more specifically for us.
Yeah.
And today we focus more on the urban part of the India.
Yes.
Still, urban part is fully developed. Yet, if some XYZ company, if they want to invest in India, they either go to Bangalore, they either come to Mumbai, Gujarat, or Ahmedabad, or Delhi. But there are rare companies, rare people who focus on the rural part of the India. Again, in the rural, there is no money. People there are completely, they are below the poverty line. Yeah. Yet, you feel that you should serve those people. It is a big thought. It is the greatest thought.
Thank you.
It was nice talking to you, sir. And I am sure we'll meet again.
Certainly.
And I am hoping you will launch one more product.
Yes.
In the near future.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
ABP माझा उघडा डोळे बघा नीट.